Most QA resumes fail before a human ever reads them. They get filtered out automatically by an applicant tracking system, a piece of software that scans resumes for specific keywords and scores them against a threshold before any human involvement. And the ones that make it through the ATS filter often get rejected in 15 seconds because the content on the page does not demonstrate skill, it claims skill without evidence. The phrase 5 years of experience testing web applications tells a hiring manager nothing. It describes time spent, not capability demonstrated. Responsible for creating and executing test cases tells a hiring manager nothing. That is a job description, not an achievement. A strong QA resume is built differently from the inside out. In this episode, we are going to cover the exact structure, the critical keywords, how to write the projects section if you are entry level with no professional QA experience yet, and the specific language patterns that make a QA resume get past the ATS and earn more than 15 seconds of human attention. If you have been applying for QA roles and not hearing back, this episode will tell you exactly what is wrong and exactly what to change. We are going to fix your resume today. Let us start with the applicant tracking system problem, because if you cannot get past the ATS, you never get a human reading your resume at all. Most midsize and enterprise companies route every application through ATS software before any human sees it. The system scans your resume for keywords that match the job description and scores your application. Below a certain score, the application is automatically moved to rejected without any human review. For QA and software testing roles, the keywords the system is scanning for include Selenium, Selenium WebDriver, PyTest, Playwright, Jira, Agile, Scrum, Sprint, test cases, test plan, regression testing, smoke testing, integration testing, API testing, Postman, REST, CI/CD, GitHub Actions, Jenkins, continuous integration, automation, test automation, manual testing, exploratory testing, and bug reporting. The strategy to maximize your ATS score is to read every job description carefully and mirror its exact language in your resume. If the job description says Selenium WebDriver, write Selenium WebDriver in your resume, not just Selenium. If it says GitHub Actions, write GitHub Actions, not just CI/CD. Exact string matches score higher than synonyms, abbreviations, or related terms. Create a tailored version of your resume skills section for every application where you pull the specific tools and terms from that job description. This is not dishonest. It is how applicant tracking systems work, and adapting to them is a basic competency. The skills section should appear near the top of the resume, right below your name and contact information, because it is the fastest way to communicate your technical profile to a scanner and to a human reader. Do not write a flat list of 40 tools separated by commas or vertical bars. Organize them into clear labeled categories. Testing tools as one line: Selenium WebDriver, Playwright, Postman, Jira, TestRail. Languages as the next line: Python, JavaScript. Frameworks and libraries: PyTest, PyTest COV, Requests, John Schema. CI and DevOps: GitHub Actions, Docker, Git. Methodologies: Agile, Scrum, exploratory testing, regression testing, API testing. This structure is scannable in 3 seconds, which is approximately how long you have before a human reader makes a first impression of your profile. One critical rule: only list tools you can speak to confidently in an interview. A very common interview question for QA roles is, walk me through how you used this specific tool on a real project. If a tool is on your resume and you cannot answer that question for it with a concrete example, take it off. The risk of being caught fabricating or exaggerating a skill is worse than the benefit of having it on the list. The experience section is where most QA resumes lose the most ground, and it is because of one consistent mistake: writing job descriptions instead of achievements. Wrote test cases for login and registration features. Reported bugs using Jira. Participated in sprint planning and retrospectives. Executed regression testing before each release. Every single one of those bullet points tells a hiring manager what your job required you to do. It says nothing about how well you did it, what impact it had, or what made you specifically valuable. Here is the formula for a strong experience bullet point: action verb, quantified achievement, tool or method, business outcome. Reduced regression testing time by 60% by building a Selenium WebDriver automation suite covering 200 critical test cases, eliminating 3 days of manual execution per sprint. Identified and filed 43 defects during a 6-week testing cycle, including 15 critical issues resolved before the release date, contributing to a zero-defect launch. Built a GitHub Actions CI pipeline that ran the full automated test suite on every pull request, catching 2 regressions per week on average before they reached staging. Numbers. Tools. Outcomes. Specificity. If you do not have metrics from a past role, estimate conservatively and note the approximation. An honest estimate is still more compelling than a vague generalization. If you are transitioning into QA or applying for your first QA role, you do not have professional experience to fill the experience section with strong achievement bullets. This is where the portfolio project from earlier in this series becomes the most important asset on your resume. Create a projects section and place it where the experience section would be. Format each project exactly as you would a job: a descriptive title, the date range, the tech stack, and 2 to 3 bullet points that describe what you built, what it covers, and what specific skills it demonstrates. Follow the same achievement format: action verb, what you built, what it covers, what the outcome is. Built a PyTest API test suite covering 20 endpoints of the Wreckers API, including authentication, user management, and error handling, with schema validation on every response. Containerize the test suite with Docker and configured GitHub Actions to run the full suite on every push, displayed as a live passing badge in the README. Include the GitHub repository URL on every project entry as a live link. A hiring manager who clicks that link and sees clean code, green CI, a professional README, and descriptive test names will spend more time on your application than on resumes from candidates with years of claimed experience and nothing to show for it. Evidence beats assertions. Always. Here is your complete resume checklist before you submit a single application. 1. Is the resume one page? If you have fewer than 10 years of experience, it should fit on one page. Trim anything that is not directly relevant to the role you are applying for. 2. Does your skills section mirror the specific keywords and tool names from the job description? Read the job description again before submitting and adjust if needed. 3. Does every bullet point in your experience or project section contain a specific number, a named tool, or a measurable outcome? If a bullet point is just a description of a task, rewrite it as an achievement. 4. Is there a live GitHub link to at least one real project that you can demo in an interview? Do not list a project that is private or incomplete. 5. Have you spell-checked the entire document, and has someone else read it cold and confirmed it makes sense? Typos on a QA resume are a particularly damaging signal. Your professional identity is built around finding defects. A defect in your own primary marketing document sends a clear message about your attention to detail. Fix every one before it goes out. In the next episode, we are preparing you for the interview itself. Specifically, what to say when they hand you an application and ask you to find bugs in it live, on the spot. That is the episode that gets you from interview to offer. I will see you there.